Ariel, do you want to try and steal the point?
Wow, I was gonna guess podcast too. Gosh, I guess blog reports, blog posts, reports.
Which one's your final answer?
Okay, my final answer.
Hello and welcome to Let's Get Digital, the game show for modern marketers. And speaking of modern marketers, today we are joined by three very talented contestants. With us we have Cara Sanders, the Director of Marketing at Livability. We also have joining us today Ariel Rubin, Director of Communications at Come and Go.
What's up?
And finally, we are also happy to have with us on the show today John Steven Stansel, who is the freelance social media manager behind the Twitter account for Invincible, a new Amazon Prime show. And as always, I am your host, Megan Crawford, Growth Marketing Specialist here at Sculpt. Before we jump right into things, a quick introduction to how things work on the show. There are 10 Let's Get Digital games to choose from, all of them marketing themed, of course. And at the top of every episode, we pick which game we'll be playing today by spinning a wheel. So let's see what we're playing today. Survey Says is the name of the game, and as you might have guessed from the name, popular opinion wins in this one. So I will be showing you a poll with all of its options, and it's up to you to buzz in and guess which option got the most votes. Not which option is the most technically correct, but which one most people thought was correct or felt the most strongly about. Is everyone ready to play?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Let's do it.
Round one, where we are talking Twitter polls. This first poll comes to us from HubSpot. So here we go. One for the Instagram fans out there. Which metric matters most and why? Likes, comments, shares, or saves? And remember, this is just what people think is correct, not necessarily what's correct. Okay, that was Ariel first. Ariel, go ahead.
I think people probably said likes.
Cara, you buzzed in second. Do you want to give it a guess?
Ooh, I would say saves.
John Steven, do you want to buzz in and try and steal the point?
Wow.
My guess was going to be comments.
Okay, this is actually shares. People, 29% of people said that shares are the most important metric on Instagram. Now, like I said, this is not necessarily the most correct answer. This is just what majority of people responding to this poll thought. I would agree that probably comments and saves are a little bit higher up than shares, but yeah. You know, likes did not actually get the top, so your cynicism was not rewarded, Ariel.
Wow.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clear out those buzzers, and we'll move on to the next question of round one. How many fleets do you watch on a regular day? As many as I can, 10 plus, a handful, maybe one a day, or none ever. That was John Steven in first. Go ahead.
I'm going to say none ever.
Yeah, that one is correct. In a shocking turn of events, none ever. One with 72% of the vote. So, and as many as I can had less than 2%. So that kind of tells you where people are at right now with fleets. I genuinely don't remember the last time I watched a fleet. So that is 1 point to John Steven. And we will move right on into question number 3. This comes to us from TikTok. Last but not least, the features. Which of these were you most excited to use when making all of your TikToks this year? Green screen, duets, stitching, or reply to comment? That was Ariel in first, followed closely by John Steven. Ariel, go ahead.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess duets.
That is not correct. John Steven, do you want to hazard a guess?
Oh, that was going to be my guess. So with that, I guess I'll go with reply to comment.
Okay, Cara, you buzzed in third. Do you want to steal the point?
Stitching?
That's not correct. It's green screen, which is super weird because I feel like stitching really took off in like the second half of 2020. But people really loved using that green screen, I guess. At least people who use TikTok and also Twitter. So, take that with a grain of salt. All right, moving on to the fourth question. This one is from Adweek, and this was part of their Ad of the Year, Reader's Choice playoffs. So the semifinals are here. Who will triumph in our Ad of the Year Reader's Choice bracket? Steak-umm versus Misinformation, Oreo Doomsday Vault, Wisconsin Dems Princess Bride Live, or Xbox's response to the Series S leak? Okay, that was Ariel in first. Which one won?
I think Oreo, because they really rigged it. They really begged all their
Did
followers
they?
to do it. Didn't they?
Oh my God, the
not win the whole
tea.
thing?
Yeah, Oreo won the whole thing. It was Oreo. So this is a little bit kind of misleading, but it was actually two semifinal brackets. It was Oreo versus Steak-umm, and then Wisconsin Dems Princess Bride versus Xbox. And Oreo won over Steak-umm, even though I hadn't even heard of the Oreo Doomsday Vault.
They just told all their audience they said they would follow everyone who voted for them.
There you go.
And they did.
Yeah.
Pretty brilliant.
Well, now Oreo's following 50,000 people on Twitter.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Learning things today, guys. Okay. Here is the last question of round one. This is from Buffer. Which type of marketing content do you find most useful to learn from? Reports, podcasts, blog posts, or webinars? Cara, you're in first. Go ahead.
Webinars.
That's not the answer. John Steven, you are in next.
Go with podcast.
Ariel, do you want to try and steal the point?
Wow. I was going to guess podcast too. Gosh. I guess blog reports. Blog posts. Reports.
Which one's your final answer?
Okay, my final answer? God, I don't know. I'm going to... blog posts.
Okay, it is blog posts. Again, remember, this is not necessarily which is the most correct. This is what popular opinion voted for. Shockingly, game shows didn't make the list. I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah, blog posts took it away at 43.6%. Okay, we are now moving into round two, which is more of the same, except instead of Twitter polls, it is LinkedIn polls. So a little bit of a shift in user base. Here we go. First question of round two. This is from HubSpot. Which is the most imperative to a truly great piece of content? Humor, nostalgia, a strong stance, or something else? And you would tell them in the comments. That was Ariel in first, followed by John Steven.
I'm going to guess because it's LinkedIn, they're going to say a strong stance.
John Steven, do you want to guess?
I'm going to say because it was LinkedIn, it was something else.
Okay, Cara, you have a chance to steal the point.
I'm going to say nostalgia.
Oh,
Or
maybe
humor.
maybe is that your final answer, Cara?
Whichever one is right. It's my final.
You got a 50-50, so.
I'll say nostalgia.
Okay, it was humor. Maybe I placed too much emphasis on saying that this was a LinkedIn poll. Humor wins. It's funny. People like it, and maybe that's a lesson to people who are putting content on LinkedIn. People on LinkedIn still like funny things. We are moving on to the next question. This one comes to us from LinkedIn themselves. What's your video conference style? Work top with pajama bottoms, pajama top with work bottoms, dressed to impress, or cameras off? That was Cara in first.
Work top with pajama bottoms.
Okay, Ariel, what do you think?
I'm going to say camera off.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You were very close. Worktop with pajama bottoms came in second. Cara,
I'm speaking from experience right now.
Right.
No.
very nice. You got to be comfy. Pajama bottom with worktop was not an actual option. I just threw that in there. But yeah, camera off, 43%. I don't know anybody who just joins work meetings with camera off, but apparently there are a lot of people with Zoom fatigue. So
Is this an option? Can I start saying that in meetings now? Just be like, sorry, no camera.
not this meeting, because we do need your we do need your video for the show. But I say go for it with like client meetings. Sure, why not? Awesome. So we will move on to the next question. This one also is from LinkedIn. What is the scariest work scenario? Coffee spilled on your laptop, frozen screen in meeting, no Wi-Fi, or unexpected afternoon meeting? That was Ariel in first.
I'm gonna say no Wi-Fi.
John Stephen, you buzzed in second.
See, I was going to say no Wi-Fi because I'm having Wi-Fi issues today, but I'm going to go with coffee spilled on laptop.
That is it. Followed closely by no Wi-Fi, but it was coffee spilled on laptop. Here we go. Next question. This is from Hootsuite. This is the social media network everyone is talking about. What are your thoughts on TikTok for business? Is your brand or organization on TikTok? If not, are you planning to join TikTok? Yes, we're already on TikTok. Not yet, but planning for 2021. No, it doesn't suit our brand. Or not yet, but never say never. That was John Stephen in first. Go ahead.
From what I've heard, just in the social media marketing sphere, saying not yet, but planning for 2021.
Okay. That
Although they
was
don't want to.
Not, although they don't want to. It's like a reluctant not yet. That was not, unfortunately, the most popular answer for this poll. Cara, you buzzed in second.
I want to say not yet, but never say never.
Okay, Ariel, you have the chance to steal the point.
Yes, we're already on TikTok.
No, that was, it was no, it doesn't suit our brand, which is, I feel like a very firm stance to take for, I feel like never say never is a safer bet. All right, moving on to the next and last question of round 2. This one is another LinkedIn poll from LinkedIn. Here we go. What is the best email sign-off? Sincerely, thanks, no sign-off at all, or best wishes and warm regards? That was Cara in first.
Thanks.
That is correct. Thanks. It's simple. It's nice. I personally go with best, but thanks is also a great one. Even if the person didn't do anything, you just still say thanks. Thanks for reading my email. So that is 1 point to Cara. All right, we are now moving into round 3, which is digital behaviors and trends, which are from survey questions courtesy of all of our friends at Data Reportal and Global Web Index. So here is your first question. We've all said, "Oh, I think you're muted," probably more times than we'd care to count over the many, many Zoom calls we've participated in recently. As of a July 2020 survey, how many worldwide daily meeting participants did Zoom report? A, 40 million a day, B, 75 million a day, C, 100 million a day, or D, 300 million a day? That was Ariel in first.
Let's go with C, 100 million a day.
Okay, Cara, you buzzed in second.
75 million.
John Stephen, do you want to buzz in and steal the point?
Go big or
Got
go
a 50-50
home. D,
here.
300 million.
It is D. And just to be clear, this is not users. This is just meeting participants. So you don't have to be a Zoom user with an account to join a meeting. But it is 300 million a day as of July of 2020. And that is compared to only 10 million a day in December of 2019. So that is, I mean, I feel like we all knew that Zoom got really big in 2020, but that is That's huge. That's a lot of people on Zoom calls every day. No wonder people are choosing to put their cameras off. Okay, moving on to the next question. From Animal Crossing New Horizons to the highly anticipated and maybe overhyped release of Cyberpunk 2077 with the new PS5, 2020 was a big year for video game news, and that was definitely reflected in user behavior online. When asked the question, thinking about gaming, which of these things have you done in the last month? Majority of respondents chose this option. A, played a game online with my real-life friends. B, watched a live gaming stream. C, watched an esports tournament. Or D, shared an image or video of my gameplay online. That was John Steven in first.
I'm going to say played a game online with real-life friends.
That is correct. People were playing games online with their real-life friends, which is so sweet. We are moving on to the third question. From small personal events like family gatherings to large brand events like HubSpot's Inbound and Dreamforce by Salesforce, many live events made the shift to virtual in 2020. Even the show that you're on right now used to be a live event, although it was just a panel discussion, which is a little bit lower stakes than a game show. When asked the question, on which of the following platforms, if any, have you watched a live stream or virtual event in the past 2 months, which of these platforms did the majority of Gen Z and millennial respondents choose? A, Facebook Live. B, Twitch. C, YouTube. Or D, Instagram Live. That was Cara in first.
YouTube?
It is YouTube. That is correct. That is 1 point to Cara. We are moving on to our fourth question of round 3. Here we go. Love it, hate it, or both. Hey, we understand it's a complicated relationship, but it's hard to beat Facebook when it comes to paid social. But before you start shelling out for Facebook ads, it's important to make sure that you understand your audience and what they expect from you. When asked which of these do you want brands to be, 50% of Facebook users who participated in this survey chose this option. A, trendy. B, bold. C, smart. Or D, young. That was Cara in first again. Cara, go ahead.
Smart?
That is correct. Yes. 50% of those Facebook users, majority of Facebook users, want their brands to sound smart. Those other options were actually trendy was what Instagram users wanted, bold was Snapchat users, and young, which is a weird way to describe a brand, was what TikTok users asked for. So that is 1 point to Cara. And we will move on to the final question of the game. People have been spending a lot more time online since last March, which has been a bit of a double-edged sword for marketers. More eyes online to view your content, but also more competition and content fatigue. When asked the question, since the coronavirus outbreak, have you discovered any new brands or products via the following? The majority of respondents chose this option. A, search engines. B, recommendations on social media. C, ads seen on social media. Or D, word of mouth recommendations. That was John Steven in first.
That's a tough one, but I'm going to go with my gut and say C.
It is C. That is correct. Ads seen on social media. 21% of the respondents to the survey chose ads seen on social media, which is the exact same percentage of respondents to the survey that actually chose ads seen on television. So that shows you kind of like how much time people have been spending on their phones inside, and kind of the shift away from traditional media to social media. So that is correct. Ads seen on social media. So in case you were wondering if paid social is a viable channel in the year of our Lord 2021, which is kind of, I feel like, a weird question to be asking at this point in the game, but yes it is. So that is our game, everyone. Congratulations to our winner, John Steven. John Steven, in addition to a week's worth of coffee on Sculpt, we will also be making a donation to Dolly Parton's Imagination Library on your behalf. Driven by Dolly's mission to foster a love of reading in all children and break down access barriers, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library mails free, high-quality books to children from birth until they begin school, regardless of their family's income level. So it is a super awesome organization, and we're really happy to contribute to that.
That's a great one. I'm from Tennessee. I love Dolly.
Oh my God, I love Dolly. Dolly is a classic. Dolly is a classic. So super happy to be able to give on your behalf. And thank you so much, Cara and Ariel, who also joined us today. I hope that you had as much fun as I did filming this. If our viewers are interested in following or connecting with you, where can they find you online?
You can find us at Livability on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or I'm at Cara Sanders.
And you can find me at JS Stansel on Twitter or any of the social channels. I co-host a podcast called Thought Feeder. You can download anytime, anywhere you get your podcast, and watch for at Invincible HQ on Twitter.
Fantastic. And I will also put Ariel's socials right here on the screen, so you can follow him as well. He follow Come and Go. They tweet hilarious, unhinged things. And that is the end of our show, everybody. For all of our viewers, new episodes go up every other Monday, so we will see you all next time on Let's Get Digital, the game show for modern marketers.